So this is going to be a video on why you shouldn't have children. Stay to the end because the end is the best part. United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, Global Study on Homicide, Gender-Related Killing of Women and Girls. Women unalived by intimate partners or family members account for 58% of all female homicide victims reported globally last year. Children face the highest risk of homicide by parents, followed by acquaintance. Unalivings of women and girls by their intimate partner or other family members. Female homicide perpetrated by intimate partners or other family members is not the only form of gender-related unaliving of women and girls. The silent epidemic of femicide in the United States, 2023. Every day, nearly 3 women are unalived by an intimate partner, making the United States one of the deadliest countries for women and girls. Guns and violence against women, America's uniquely lethal intimate partner violence problem. April 10th, 2023. Intimate partner violence and gun violence in the United States are inextricably linked, impacting millions of women, families, and communities across the country. Abusers with firearms are 5 times more likely to kill their female victims, and guns further exacerbate the power and control dynamic commonly used by abusers to inflict emotional abuse and exert coercive control over their victims. Every month, an average of 70 women are shot and unalived by an intimate partner. Nearly 1 million women alive today have reported being shot or shot at by intimate partners, and over 4.5 million women have reported being threatened with a gun by an intimate partner. What happens to the children of women unalived by men? She is one of many children each year hidden behind headlines about unalivings who are left motherless by femicide. Families and friends will struggle to take on the role of carers, hit by a juggernaut of sudden loss and unexpected added responsibility. Biological fathers and stepfathers who molest their daughters. 143 of men who essayed their biological daughters or their step-adopted daughters were examined. Father who essayed his 3 children faces sentencing next month. This is 2022. Father-daughter incest accounts for 75% of the total reported cases. 2023, an adopted father is accused of essaying his 9 sons for years. In 88% of essay claims, substantiates or finds supporting evidence of the perpetrator is male. In 9% of cases, they are female, and 3% are unknown. An estimated 91% of victims of rape and essay are female, and 9% are male. Nearly 99% of perpetrators are male. The U.S. Department of Justice statistic does not report those who do not identify in these gender boxes. Around the world, at least 1 woman in every 3 has been beaten, coerced into S, or otherwise abused in her lifetime. Most often, the abuser is a member of her own family or is her partner. Only 2% of rapists are convicted and in prison. Approximately 80 to 85% of completed rapes are committed by someone who is known to the survivor. While 80% reported rapes are against white women, minorities are more likely to be assaulted. And because of the odds against them, it's harder for Black women to report rape and essay, so they don't get as much support and resources for that. National Essay Resource Center, info and stats for journalists, statistics about violence. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will be raped at some point in their lives. That's a big difference, major difference. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 males. 91% of the victims of rape and essay are female and 9% are male. In 8 out of 10 cases, the victim knew the person who essayed them. 8% of rapes occur while the victim is at work. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be essayed before they turn 18 years old. 34% of people who essay a child are family members. 12.3% of women were aged 10 or younger at the time of their first rape, and 30% of women were between the ages of 11 and 17. 27.8% of men were aged 10 or younger at the time of their first rape. 96% of people who essay children are male, and 76.8% of people who essay children are adults. 325,000 children are at risk of becoming victims of commercial child sex exploitation each year. The average age at which girls first become victims of prostitution is 12 to 14 years old. SA of young children as reported to law enforcement. The female proportion of SA victims reached 90% at age 13 and 95% at age 19. Nearly all forcible rapes, 99%, involved a female victim. The vast majority of perpetrators will not go to jail or prison. About 75 to 90% of SA is committed by men or male adolescents, and about 10 to 25% by women or female adolescents. Both male and female perpetrators abuse minors of any gender. However, women are more likely to abuse boys, while men are more likely to abuse girls. The International Child Labor Organization estimated in 2022 that 3.3 million children are being exploited and trafficked and labor trafficked at any given moment. Human trafficking is the crime of exploiting another person for compelled labor or commercial acts, typically through force, fraud, and coercion, or inducing a minor under 18 into commercial Human traffickers are in it for the money, with estimated annual global profits of $150 billion. They insert themselves into situations where they have easy access to children and strive to create situations in which they can be alone with a child. An estimated 80 to 90% of offenders are male, while 10 to 20% of offenders are female. About 30% of those who SA children are relatives of the child, such as fathers, uncles, or cousins. Strangers are perpetrators in about 10% of child SA cases. Men are found to be perpetrators in most cases, regardless of whether the victim is a boy or girl. 1 in 9 girls and 1 in 53 boys under the age of 18 experiencing SA. Nearly 50% of all victims of forcible sodomy SA are children under 12. More than 600,000 children are abused in the U.S. each year. Out of the 3 million children who received an investigation by Child Services, only 1.8 million children actually received prevention services, and there has been a decrease in protective child services agencies getting involved. There were 247 and 443 cases of child SA in 2022. Nearly 2/3 of all cases in child services handle child SA. Most child victims are abused by a parent. 452,313 perpetrators abused or neglected a child. 77% of children were victimized by a parent. In 2021, an estimated 1,820 children died from abuse and neglect in the United States. Every 73 seconds, another American is SA'd. On average, there are 433,648 victims aged 12 or older of rape and SA each year in the United States. 63 children a year were victims of SA. A majority of child victims are 12 to 17. 34% of victims of SA and rape are under age 12, and 66% of victims of SA and rape are aged 12 to 17. 57,329 children were victims of SA. 1 in 9 girls and 1 in 53 boys under the age of 18 experienced SA or assault at the hands of an adult. 82% of all victims under 18 are female. Globally, it is estimated that 1 billion children aged 2 to 17 have experienced physical or emotional violence or neglect in the past year. 1 in 4 children experienced child abuse or neglect in their lifetime. As of June 2022, there were 153 school shootings in total in the United States. So far, in 2023, there have been 198 shooting incidents at K-12 schools. In 2019, gun injury became the leading cause of death among children aged birth to 19 years old. Each day, 12 children die from gun violence in America. Guns are the leading cause of death among American children and teens. There's been an on-campus shooting pretty much every single school day this fall in 2022. So far in 2024, there have been at least 16 school shootings since March 6th of 2024. Nearly 350 school shooting incidents occurred in 2023. Where does U.S. rank in maternal mortality? U.S. ranks 55th, falling behind Russia. Why is U.S. infant mortality so high? 2023. 32.9 deaths per 100,000 births in the United States. Why is maternal death so high in the U.S.? Which race has the highest maternal mortality rate? Every day, almost 800 women died from preventable causes related to childbirth and pregnancy. Maternal death occurred every 2 minutes.